Reality Receipts.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Reality Receipts podcast starring me, Storytime with Ricky.
And me, Reality Ashley. Before we get into our episode, I just wanted to say, you guys have been leaving such nice comments on our YouTube videos, so thank you so much for that. Like, you're totally appreciating all the work we're putting in. You know, it's a crazy time for us, so seeing how much you guys are enjoying it and thanking us, it makes us feel so good, and it's so nice that we have such a good little community here. We have like the best listeners and watchers, so thank you guys for all the support. We appreciate it. Because, yeah, it's been a crazy week, but it's been fun. It's the best time of year, but these interviews, they just keep them coming one after the other. So today we have Britney and Amber appeared on the Vile Files. So this is a good one. I was excited to get into this. What did you think overall of the interview?
Overall, I just think I recommend doing two separate interviews because
That was weird.
just having two guests, like for a portion of the interview, I literally forgot Britney was there.
Yeah.
And then, so I do, because it was like about an hour and a half. It could get long and things can get missed. But overall, I thought,
yeah, it was.
We covered a lot that was on the reunion, but I will say, like, big takeaways is that Amber is fucking hilarious, you guys.
Yeah.
Like, she is so funny. Like,
I literally want to make clips of just her and be like, she needs her own podcast, like a man-hating advice type podcast.
Please do it. Please make clips of like every time she interrupted Britney's interview and just had the slickest comment. Like, you guys, she was so funny. Her one-liners they're just iconic. Like, I think you really should do that because I would love to see that compilation, like, of all the time she just chimed in and also like her telling us to all fuck off or talking about her age. Like, it was just so funny, you guys.
And thankfully she was there because I don't know if Britney would have brought up some of the stuff, but Amber was just like interjecting, like, oh, he probably had a girlfriend, oh, his ex-girlfriend, and like she was like saying what we would want to say when we're listening. She was throwing in all the tea, so loved that. I agree, it was a little odd having them at the same time because I don't really know why. I'm guessing maybe Britney wanted it that way because she's obviously a lot more reserved than Amber, and maybe she was super nervous, so she thought, like, if I have Amber there, then that will make me feel more comfortable. I did almost feel like they were cutting at times because maybe Britney was getting emotional. That's just how it sounded to me, and we saw her be very emotional at the reunion, so I think she's, just like with Taylor, Devonte's ex, I don't know what spell this man has over women, but they feel very devastated when it ends, and I do not understand it, but obviously can't judge if we're not in her shoes. But I felt like, Amber obviously is hurt and upset, but she definitely is able to talk about it in a less emotional, in terms of like crying and getting upset way, whereas Britney still seems pretty hurt about everything. So I don't know why they did it together. And also saying Britney wasn't in studio and Amber was, and Nick was like, because Britney is busy being a nurse, but obviously Amber's a nurse practitioner and has a child, so I don't know. I think they just don't pay for people to go, so I don't blame some people for being like, I'm not paying to come to you to go on your podcast, but I probably would, but but I don't know.
It is a big opportunity, and it's like, it's actually comical for him to be like, oh, because Brittany's a nurse, and it's like, Amber's basically a doctor. Like, you know what I mean? I think people forget that. A nurse practitioner is like, you right there to being a doctor.
Yeah, it was a very odd comparison, but maybe she just couldn't get the time off work is what he was trying to say. So I think, so they started with Amber and Jordan's portion of everything. So that's why I felt like Britney wasn't even there, because we did not hear from her for the first like 45 minutes, I would say, right?
Yeah.
So the first thing that Amber said that caught my attention was she said that Emma had begged to go to the wedding, and that's why Emma was there. Like, she really wanted to be there, and it wasn't that like Amber had forced her. I'm like, I maybe just wouldn't have even told her the wedding was happening. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was like the first of all, what we will say is that we did do Jordan's interview on AD, and there are some inconsistencies. So we will go over that. She said that that basically Emma really wanted to be the flower girl. Jordan knew she was going to be at the wedding. She, Emma wanted to be the flower girl and like basically begged and pleaded. The first thing I had written down was obviously what we know is that Jordan decided on the divorce and that she was caught off guard.
Yeah.
She said that where Jordan is saying they had these toxic fights and a toxic relationship, she says that they had a few fights, but overall they were doing well when he asked for
Yeah.
the divorce. So,
Yeah, it sounds like I think she's just very hurt and upset that he brought up this drinking at the wedding on the reunion,
100%,
right?
100,
And
100%.
she's really, really, really focusing on clearing her name on that, on those accusations of drinking. And
Mhm.
it feels like that's really what she's focusing on this interview is like
100%.
the drinking and clearing that up. There's a lot of talk about how much she drinks, how much Jordan drinks, and what's normal and what's not normal. And I got from Jordan's interview, like, the drinking was a thing, but it was the toxic fights. He sort of alluded the way she treats him and the name calling and that sort of thing. Like, I didn't think
Yeah,
it
but
was just the drinking.
I think he hinted that those things were happening because of her drinking.
Right.
Like like the fighting and the
Mhm.
yelling and the down talking him. To me, I think he alluded to the fact that those fights were happening because of her drinking.
Yeah.
Um like people don't typically like just shout and yell at you when they're sober. Like, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, or maybe they do. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
But then if she's saying she didn't drink a lot very often, then that's hard for him to say, like, that behavior was a big part of the relationship if, according to her, it only happened 2 or 3 times in the entire.
yeah. And I
I mean.
think that's where we're seeing these inconsistencies, right? Like he's saying one thing and she's saying another. He's saying we had
Yeah,
toxic blowups and he did say symptoms of a symptoms of a deeper issue when he was referencing her drinking. We all know what
yeah,
he's alluding to there. And she's focused on clearing that up of like, I don't that doesn't happen. I barely drink. I don't even drink hard liquor. I might have a glass of wine every now and
mhm,
again. And I think that that statement really did bother Amber,
yeah,
rightfully so, because as a
mhm,
professional, as a mom, it's a very dangerous accusation to make against her.
yeah,
Um and and I told you she had shared privately with me some text threads from her and Jordan, and one of those were discussed on the reunion, but another one was a message of her basically telling him after the reunion of like how she felt attacked of him bringing up that wedding. Like, I thought we were
yeah,
going to be cool and cordial with each other, and like that felt like an attack. And he
yeah,
almost came back and said, well, I felt like you were trying to make me look bad with
yeah,
Emma. So in a nutshell, like, all gloves are off, basically. You know what I mean?
true. And I do agree with him on that point that I did think it was sort of unfair of her to use Emma in that way. But then, like, when you really look at it all as a whole, I think we can say that Amber had genuine intentions. She really wanted to get married. She
Mm,
wanted to make it work with Jordan. She put her all into it, and he didn't really want to get married. He kind of accidentally said yes
yeah,
or didn't make a logical decision.
yeah.
Yeah, it definitely was them both trying to throw each other under the bus, and that's why these cast members usually do this little pact before reunions with each other. "You don't throw me under the bus, I won't throw you under the bus. We'll tell everybody it was all peaches and cream and everything was
Mhm.
fine, and we agreed this together," and leave it at that, and we can tell when they're lying about that, like, we can tell that there's mess, and that's why we're like, "Tell us what happened," and so,
Mm.
I think they were both it once she brought up Emma, I guess he was fair to bring up the issues that he thought, but I don't know if we can trust him after that whole silent treatment thing, right? That Amber has disproved now.
Yeah, and one thing that I will say about that is that in this interview, apparently he said I would have to go back and watch, but she was like, "Oh, he said that I gave him the silent treatment for 1 day, but on AD's podcast he said 2 days."
Yeah.
So on
And we
screen was it 1 day or did he say 2 days on screen as well?
Yeah, and we were going over those messages on our last episode just saying like this doesn't make sense because she's literally saying the words last night talking about this fight and they're talking the next day. There was no disappearing. And so but it's funny because when it was filming, I kind of heard similar things that like they had broken up and like she had left and there was no way they were getting married. So I'm wondering if there, like I said, there was a different instance of a fight besides that mixer. Because if it's as toxic as Jordan says, I don't think there would have been one fight in 5 weeks. There was obviously multiple fights. So I don't know
Yeah,
what's
and
happening.
she's saying that they didn't really fight that much, which is so crazy. Like, so
Mhm.
it really comes down to interpretation. Like, and I think both of them have very different interpretations of like what
But
happened.
is it hard to see Amber and see her personality and not believe that there's some fighting going on? Like, we've seen her storm off on the reunion. We've seen her tell off Chris, which we love, but I just get the feeling if she's someone who's pissed off, you're gonna know. She's definitely not
Oh,
gonna
100%.
calmly say it. So I
100%.
I think maybe to her that wasn't toxic fighting. That was just like, you pissed me off, you did something wrong, and I'm letting you know. And
Oh,
he's not used to that.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. She said to me, like, he calls me toxic because I call him out on his bullshit, like,
Yeah.
literally. So, I think from his perspective, it's like, you're attacking me. From her perspective, it's like, I'm just
Talking.
calling you out on your shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, so I think they in the interview they asked like kind of like what happened once you guys got married, like what were the days following that like. She said that something that was interesting is that she said that Jordan had said to her at one point that he is going to move to Mount Vernon for a little bit and it's not fair to uproot Emma, and their plan
Mhm.
was for him to move in by July. And
Yeah.
a big reason why he didn't wanna move was he didn't wanna be uprooted from his friends.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that. Remember when she said he didn't wanna leave, like, the bar areas, and Nick was like, "Oh, he told you that?" And it's like, "That was on the show. Are you
I
not
said this,
watching?"
I wrote that down.
Yeah, I don't think that Nick and Natalie are even bothering to watch the show anymore. They just kinda, like, read the Cliff's notes so they can do these interviews, but yeah, he
Yeah, it's
didn't
like, literally, Amber had to tell him, like, he was like, "Wait, did he actually say that?" And she's like, "Yeah,
on
like,
camera.
it was on camera." She was like, "It was on the show," and he's like, "Oh." Like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, you didn't even watch." Like, that's actually kind of
Yeah, which to be
yeah.
fair, we do miss stuff once in a while too, but I feel like that was like a
He
main
said it
plot
more
point.
than once. He said it
Yeah,
more
and that
than
was
once.
the whole thing. It was like if that wasn't a thing, Jordan would move to her. That was hit the thing holding him back was the bar scene. We all knew that that was the thing. So yeah, it sounds
Yeah,
like that's where I said this last time. Even if she does drink like wine every night or whatever he's trying to accuse her of, he drinks all the time too, is what she's saying, and
yeah,
parties. And so
mhm,
that is kinda hypocritical, right? If you are expecting a partner that doesn't drink a lot, you can't really be a person that drinks a lot, regardless of, like,
right.
the behaviors. If that's your wife and you're in a marriage and you wanna make that work, then you would have to say, "Hey, let's not drink together," or something, right? Like
Right, at one point, she literally says, I'm gonna not say literally so much because I realize that I literally say it so literally so much. No, she says he loves to drink. Drinking on her end was not the problem, and she gave instances where he goes out to bars with friends. You guys, she
Mhm.
said that he hangs out with Chris and Steven. You guys, those were like her
Yeah.
main. Those were like his main buds. So I,
She What was the thing about Chris recording everybody? They better be a little concerned at this point. Jordan said that Chris records them when they hang out.
Yeah,
Like,
she said that that's kind of where he got a weird like, he was hanging out with Chris regardless of, like, what happened with Jessica, and that he got a weird vibe from him because he found out that Chris was, like, recording their conversations, like
he's probably gonna use that against them or was gonna. I don't think he would bother trying now, but now I don't feel so never mind, I never felt bad, but it's funny that Marta recorded him and put that out there because he's recording other people, so
and it's like, why? Like, why would you be recording Jordan? Like, what would be the intent behind that?
probably to use it against them at some point throughout, like, the airing of it, right? He seems
Yeah,
like a very diabolical person, so and, like, do they mean recording just audio or, like, videos? Like, is he
I
trying to
would
just get
think
the media
audio.
content?
I would think audio.
Very weird.
For and obviously there's a reason for that, but basically Amber says as things progressed she feels like he just didn't want to be tied down, so he kept deflecting and trying to come up with reasons as to why it wasn't working
Yeah.
from her, like, and like making it her fault, and she feels like that's where this whole wedding thing came up, was like a deflection. So
Yeah, and the wedding. Crazy that he left her in the car. What do you think about that? Okay, I am so excited for my vacation next week and to come and visit you, but one thing I am really gonna miss is my HelloFresh delicious home cooking.
Well, have no fear, because I have HelloFresh as well. You know it's my favorite, and I know that you're coming from the cold, but here it's nice and hot. So I'm gonna make you a nice, refreshing buffalo chicken salad. It's one of their newer recipes, 470 calories, 2-minute prep time. So delicious. I can't wait to make it for you.
Yes, I've been trying to beat the winter blues here by cooking HelloFresh's hot soup, so I'm so excited to come there and check out something new, light, and refreshing.
Well, you know, with HelloFresh, you get to choose from more than 35 high protein recipes each week, including new Mediterranean and GLP-1 friendly options. Feel great with wholesome ingredients like sustainably sourced seafood and 100% antibiotic and hormone free chicken.
There's now 3 times the seafood for no upcharge. Impress your guests like me or treat yourself with new grass-fed steak ribeyes. Make meals with seasonal produce like pears, apples, and asparagus. You guys have to try HelloFresh because when dinner tastes this good, nothing hits like home cooking. Go to HelloFresh.com/RR10FM to get 10 free meals plus a free Zwilling knife at $144.99 value on your third box. Offer valid while supplies last. Free meals applied as discount on first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan.
So when I went back and watched on the reunion, they said that, right? So
Yeah.
that whole, when they re-explained it, they said it on the reunion, like where he says you showed up,
Yeah.
he never said she showed up drunk. I noticed that she said that. She said, I didn't show up trash. I did miss the ceremony. He never said that. What he said was that she got blacked out drunk within 30 minutes of being at the wedding, fell
Right.
asleep at the table, cussed him out, and then this whole car incident. So they did say that on the reunion. It's just hard
Yeah.
to miss because they're kind of going back and
Yeah.
forth and like talking over each
Well,
other.
and I
But
didn't
yeah,
know like I know he said left her in the car, but I didn't know like the details of it
I
until
didn't
she
know that it
said
was 11 p.m.,
it.
right? So
Yeah.
you think to me, I'm like, if it's 5 p.m., my wife gets trashed. I still have to do my best man duties.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do? I'm not going to let her drive home. I can't take her home right now because I'm in the middle of this wedding. So let me
Mhm.
find a solution. That's what I thought initially.
Yeah.
But I'm like finding out it's 11 p.m. It's like, okay, but wedding's over. Reception's probably still going on, but your best man duties are kind of wrapped up. Like,
Yeah.
let's go, you know?
And if he's a late night partier and he wanted to stay, then I think as a husband, your very bare minimum duty would be like if this was in the town where Jordan's house was, like Uber her to your house, tuck her into bed, and go back to the party if you want to party all night. And if you are at a hotel, like if they weren't, if the wedding wasn't in his town, would they not have had a hotel or something close by? Like get her home safe and then go.
Get
It's
her.
not just
That's
a
what
random girl you met at a bar. Like this is your wife and it's kind of
yeah.
your job whether you like it
Yeah.
or not and then
Yeah.
deal with that later on and say this was an important
Yeah.
night for me but
I
again
would
it was
think
11.
not put her. I wouldn't obviously if she's as trash to where she's falling asleep at a table. You're not gonna put her in an Uber by her fucking self. Like no,
No,
that's
no, you
dangerous.
got to
But
go
like
with
yeah,
her.
take her home and freaking make sure she's good and go back. But like I guess he thought he was finding the middle ground. But I
Yeah,
think like hearing what time it was, it's like, bro, just go
just
home.
go
Like when I
home.
originally heard the story, I'm thinking it's like 7 and like it's not done yet. You know, it's 11.
No,
Like just go home. The wedding started at 5.
but it
Like
sounds like his friends and he likes to party a lot so 11 is early when you're a late night partier but yeah I'm like that's where his priorities are out of line, right? Your priority is staying up all night with your friends partying or getting your wife home. He's not ready for marriage if that's not his priority, which I agree she shouldn't have put him in that position, but even in the best marriages or the best people are going to do that sometimes. But like a wedding is a place where somebody would get more trash than they usually are and might accidentally end up in a situation where they're passing out, right? So
right.
it happens and yeah, I just think she's right. Like I think what he was doing is what we say these people do where it's like someone has to do something bad so I have a good reason to get out of this because I want to get out of this. He's just waiting for a situation and he used that as the perfect scapegoat as we say. So he was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"Perfect. This is my reason. No one's going to blame me and I'm done."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think at the very least, like, Amber does take accountability for her actions. Like, she did
Mhm.
say, "I did miss the wedding," and she explained why. And it's like, to some people that might, it might sound like she's rambling, and that's the thing, is sometimes when people talk a lot, you just assume that they're lying, but, like, she's just really trying to get her point across. Like, "I had car
Yeah.
trouble. Yeah, I did miss the wedding. Yeah, I did drink liquor. I don't necessarily always drink liquor, so I got a little more trash than I should have." Like,
Yeah.
and she said that that situation, he never apologized for leaving her in the car. He, kind of turned it around on her to, like, "You got drunk at my friend's wedding and embarrassed," and she did. One thing that
Mhm.
she did keep saying is, like, he's telling me that I cursed him out. He's telling me that I yelled at him, but, like, he was drunk too, so I'm not really sure if that really
I think
happened.
she did. I think she did for
Okay,
sure.
okay, okay.
Don't you think?
I mean, I don't think it's a good sign that you don't remember if that happened or not.
Yeah, and I think if you're to that level of drunk and he's trying, I just feel like I could see that happening. It doesn't mean it did happen, but I'm just like looking at all the facts that we have. And she did say she appeared drunk on the show a lot because she doesn't drink a lot. And so it only takes her 2 drinks to get tipsy. And she was away from her child and, nervous. And so, because obviously people are looking at her behavior on the show and seeing like this all adds up, right? And so
Yeah.
I
And
think it's
that's
hard because,
crazy because I didn't even see her drunk on the show. I saw her drunk at the mixer, and that was it. That's the only time that I felt like, "Ooh, Amber's a little loose," you know?
I thought that, and other people were telling me, "No, she seems drunk all the time." So now I forget
Same.
what I really thought. So
Same, same. That's why
so
I
yeah.
kept seeing the comment, and I'm like, "What the, does she seem
Yeah.
drunk all the time?" I only seen her drunk at the mixer, and clearly
Yeah.
we see her go home and, like, she's passed out
Yeah.
at the mixer, from the mixer, but that's the only time I was like, "Oh, Amber's a little sloshed too. She's slurring, she's loose." Like, that's the only time that I saw it.
I suppose though, like we are looking at a time frame of April because they split up in August. So we're looking at a time frame of April to August. That's a lot of incidences where you might say, "Oh, that's not my normal," but that's all that Jordan really has to go off of. But again, he drinks a lot too, and so I don't think that was like a deal breaker in any way for him. And we have seen other people drink a lot too, and they get accused of being on drugs and all these terrible things. So
Annie was
I don't.
drunk all the time.
Yeah,
Or on our scene, like, Annie was literally always drunk. So,
every
like,
scene. Yeah.
every scene. So she did say that this wedding incident is what Jordan said killed the relationship. And she
Hmm.
said after the incident, she said she never drank liquor again. She never got, like, really drunk in Jordan's presence. Like, nothing similar ever happened again.
Hmm.
Um and then the moving thing became an issue. He didn't understand that she couldn't, like, she said she couldn't just move, like, she needed to sell his house. She took little digs at him, throughout the interview, which I thought was hilarious. But I think Natalie then asked, "Were you guys at the same page at the reunion? Like, did you guys get on the same page?" And she basically details how after they broke up, they didn't really speak. That they only had one
No.
interaction at a group meeting, and he kind of came up to her like, "Hey, bud, like, oh, good to see you," like he was seeing an old
And they're still
friend.
married.
Yeah, and they're still married, but, like,
Yeah.
she said he came up to her like she was an old friend. She said it
Mhm.
felt really good, really like, almost really good, and she said that
Yeah.
she shared with him that she was going to Europe with her brother, and that's the only time she's seen him. And then at the reunion, she was like, his energy was really cold, and she, like, couldn't understand it. And then they asked him to go first, and when he started saying all those things about her, she brought up the Emma stuff, and then that's, I think they both just got offended, like, "Oh, she's gonna make me look bad,
Yeah.
he's gonna make me look bad," and then they kinda started going at it. And she said that Jordan's really insecure about looking bad, and, like,
Yeah.
that's what she thought that's what was happening. So,
Yeah, I definitely think that he just didn't mean to say yes, and then after he did, he was just looking for an out. So I don't know in another relationship if he would think that this drinking was such a big problem, but he's definitely just trying to pin it on that. So, but yeah, she said she's only gone out like 5 times in the last 6 months. So,
but
I don't know.
I think that's also, like, okay, you don't
Yeah.
have to go out to get drunk, like, let's just
True.
keep it real, like, and just because
Very
you're
true.
not going out doesn't mean that you're not
Mhm.
drinking at home. I'm not saying that that's what she's doing, but
Yeah.
I do think, like, that doesn't prove anything just because you don't go out. Like,
Mhm.
But regardless, I think, she does later on at the end of the interview say that she believes that Jordan just didn't want to look bad because he's mentioned to her how the guys look like a douche on the show if they
Yeah.
say no.
Mhm.
So she said, I think it had to do with that. And she also said that she thinks it had to do with Jordan basically get about to get all of this attention from all of these women because
Yeah.
towards the end of the interview, as you guys know, Jordan talked about his other pod connection on AD's podcast and revealed that it was Alyssa. And so
Yeah.
Amber says on this podcast that his pod connection, she didn't name her, but Jordan named her in
We
the past
knew.
interview. We knew that was messaging him, basically saying that she wants
Another chance,
closure
right?
and wants to figure it out, and that Jordan
Alyssa.
eventually shut it down. But
Mhm.
Alyssa's trying to get her 5 minutes by any means necessary. Alyssa's eyelash glue girl, the girl that put
Yeah,
the
in the
the glue in
eyeball.
her, yeah, so she was Jordan's number 1. Apparently, she dumped him. Jordan left that part out.
Yeah.
He said that their conversations got stagnant. That's what he said on AD's podcast. But
Mhm.
Amber says that Jordan was basically left talking to her because Alyssa dumped him. Alyssa DMs him after all, saying she wants closure and wants to see if they can make it work. And that Jordan showed Amber the messages. So he does get some points for that, but that he was still entertaining it, like still kind of like asking her how her day was, like how her work week went. And then he eventually shut it down, and then kind of expressed how he's not used to like this attention. So she says that
Yeah.
he kind of she thinks he realized like how much attention he's going to be getting once he's comes off as like this big teddy bear on Netflix. Although he does have a
Yeah.
girlfriend now, so
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess that's the tricky part, right? Because she kind of alluded that, yeah, he wanted to be out here getting all the girls, but he has been in a relationship since November. She was kind of alluding to, like, maybe earlier than that, right? Like, they broke up in August, November. That's still pretty soon. She was saying, like,
yeah, 3 months.
she said she didn't know he had a girlfriend till the reunion, right? That's when she
Mm,
found out. So she
mm,
didn't know before that. Um, yeah, and that they had broke up in person, but Emma wasn't there. She said she cried. He left, and that was it. She didn't reach out because she was like, if a man's gonna walk out, you let him go. And then he
amazing.
never contacted her, and vice versa. So
Yeah.
wild to go from married to that. And on AD's podcast, he had said he's waiting for her to sign stuff to get this divorce going, and she said she just wants to, like, go over. They didn't have a prenup, which
Yeah.
I feel
But
like should
she
be
says that
mandatory.
Jordan it should be mandatory, and
Uh-huh.
that Jordan was adamant that he's not gonna try and after any of her stuff, and she said that the reason she hadn't signed the documents is because you have to list all of your assets, you have
Yeah.
to list all of your debt, like, and she was like, "It's easy to do when you don't have any of that shit," like, basically, like, Jordan has no
You don't
fucking
own a
asset.
house.
Yeah, you don't have any assets. She was like, "Yeah, it's easy when you just have to list your credit card debt," and she was like, um but he was like, there was something about needing her bank account, like access bank account info for an annulment. And she was like, I just like, initially had said he can deal with all of that since he wants to have the divorce. And then
Yeah.
once she really started looking over it, she just wanted to look into it more, which makes total sense, you know?
Yeah. And I don't think he would come after her for money just with her being a single mom. That would obviously hurt his chances of being an influencer, which he's trying pretty hard to do now. So I think she's safe there, but still so risky to just marry someone with no prenup when you have assets and actual
Yeah.
things that they could take. So I hope he
Yeah.
does not try to do that.
Yeah. She said that he wasn't, but men say
You never
anything,
know.
but
Yeah.
she did say though that like she did address like I guess like the backlash that she's getting of like people saying like why would you let him meet your daughter so soon and like the whole daughter of it all, and she was like that was never a concern for her, like that Jordan doesn't have a dangerous bone in his body, and that Emma is like Jordan is actually the first guy that Emma's ever met.
Yeah.
And so, you know, she thought he was going to be her husband, so that was never, like, a concern for her, so
But that's weird because she thought it was gonna be a no, right? But when she introduced him to Emma, but I guess if you're gonna date him, like, it's not that big of a deal. People introduce I mean, it is, but, like, some
it
people do
is.
make that choice all the
Yeah.
time, not just on the show, people
W
introduce in a
w
month or
One thing
whatever.
that I had written down is that because she did say that Jordan knew that Emma was going to be at the wedding, Jordan is saying he wasn't sure, but was like almost thought she wasn't.
Uh-huh.
But she did in the interview said she wasn't going to bring her in case it was a no, and then Emma begged
Yeah.
to he knew that she was going to go, but it didn't seem clear that Emma was going to go. Like
Mhm.
it seems like it was up in the air, especially because they needed consent from the dad.
Yeah, I wonder how they got him to sign it.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
but one thing I do think was very, very strange is that Jordan works from home and, like, never spent any weeks at
yeah,
her house. Like, you can literally work from home and just be here for a
yeah.
week or a couple of days and then take your ass home.
He wanted to go out to the bar after work though, so that doesn't work. He had to be near the bar, so
Ugh, it's like and it's really crazy to think that, like, we're acting like these people live 4 hours away from each
I
other,
know.
like, that's, like, where I live right now, like, if I wanna I mean, first of all, there's bars, local bars around here, but if I, like, really wanted to get in the mix and, like, go to Hollywood or go to
Yeah,
downtown, it's about a 30-40 minute drive, like, I can do that, like, but
yeah,
I guess it's like if you wanna go every single day, like, you just wanna hop outside and be like to the
yeah,
bar I go. Like, it does seem like maybe Jordan just, I mean, they said it on the episode that
yeah,
he said yes and got married, but like really wasn't expecting to have to be a husband. That it was almost like he
yeah.
was an actor, like that just thought he was getting married for this show and like not getting married in real life.
Yeah, we saw that in some of those texts we got from other family members, how he called it his storyline, and I mean, I do know that he knows he is in proximity to a former cast member, and so he knows the drill, he knows what you get from being on this show. He knows that if you're a married person, that's the stars, right? And I think that he had that in his mind of like, I'm just gonna say yes because that's gonna make people love me, and then I'm gonna try to make her look bad and get out of this somehow. And so I think that he never planned to stay married, or he would have. Like, yeah, you can work from home, you can move so easily. So I think we caught Jordan in a few lies and not Amber, so it's easy to say that. Go ahead.
Sorry.
You're okay.
It went
Oh,
away.
okay. Yeah, we caught, Jordan in a few lies and not Amber X. He lied about Alyssa, he didn't say she dumped him, and then he lied about this silent treatment, whereas Amber has been consistent. So, I think maybe she has her truth of what she felt like she wasn't toxic and wasn't treating him badly, and he has his truth of what she felt like it was. We won't ever really know what it actually looked like because we can't see it, but yeah, I think, like I said, she's genuine and she's funny, and it's hard not to like her, and
I think that's a fair assessment. I think that's a fair I think that's a fair assessment. I think they have very different ideas of what went down
yeah,
and it's like you I'm really starting to wonder if Jordan sent his friends and family to us
yeah,
before the season started to start trying to create a narrative
a
before
narrative, yeah,
before the season even started, right? Like, oh, it was
yeah,
toxic because now all the things that we're hearing Jordan say are all the things that we've heard, right? From
mhm,
Jordan's side.
yeah,
Toxic, they fought a lot, she drinks a lot, like
yeah,
it's almost like a blueprint. So it's like
uh-huh.
I think that I'm starting to think that that was very intentional. Oh, but clearly Jordan is being calculated.
Let's get into, the Britney and Devonte of it all because that was definitely wild. First things, his love language is physical touch. He told Britney the man could not get
Oh my
farther away from
god,
her.
you
That was
guys.
crazy.
And
I
then
could
and
not
then and
believe that.
Amber jumps in and says his physical his physical is what did she say? She was like, his love language is texting other bitches or like
Yeah,
talking to talking to or having other girlfriends or talking to a bunch
yeah.
of bitches. Like it was so
Yeah,
funny.
Amber was hilarious in this part and added a lot of like much needed levity and like all of the tea because they weren't. Nick was definitely not going to bring up the tea, but Amber, thank God she was there because she brought it up. So I thought it was funny that Brittany said she looked up his grandfather's obituary, because that's how much we don't trust this man at this point. I'm not even
Mhm.
positive he's got a baby on the way at this point. I think he's, like, pathological, so but
Mm.
there was an obituary, so that part was not a lie, but
Yeah. Yeah, that's so funny. I think, she was like, "I was trying to be patient with Devonte because he was going through it when he got back. He had a new fiance." Amber chimes in and goes, "Plus probably a girlfriend." And then she's like, "He apparently had a new job opportunity." And then she's like, Plus trying to hide his life, and all the shit in his life." Like, she just kept popping in with the mess, which I really
yeah,
appreciated.
it
And
was
then
so good.
Brittany just laughed and was like, "Now we know a lot more." Obviously, she's referencing our interview with Taylor. And,
Yeah,
obviously, all of these things coming out about Devonte. She said that he disappeared during filming a few times, and
3 times.
she said that she thinks that he was dating somebody while they were filming, which
Yeah.
wouldn't surprise me.
Which is crazy because in case you didn't hear in our last episode, we know that he was going on like Hinge dates 2 weeks after filming while Brittany thought they were still engaged. So whoever he had during filming, and then he was going on dates immediately after filming too. So
Yeah, she said she knows of 3 in the interview. She says she knows of 3 people that he's dated since
yeah,
her.
I
We
think of the
know of
ones.
is it you think it's the ones we said? Because we just
I
said
think
the
so.
Hinge one. We just said the Hinge
No, the oh yeah, I guess we only know of two, Taylor and
2.
that other girl, right?
Yeah, and I'm saying there's another one that apparently was dating him during filming.
Oh, she might mean the baby mama. That's what I was
Oh,
thinking.
maybe the baby. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Maybe
I think it's
mama.
the 2 that we said baby mama. Now we know about 4th, so her numbers are already behind, and I'm sure there's so many more too.
So many
Like, I
more.
come
So many more.
forward, girls, give us your story because
If you were talking to Devonte between
April.
February
Oh, yeah.
2025 to April 2025, come forward because I just know. And she didn't mention that he was on dating apps right after they broke up, so I'm assuming that maybe she doesn't know that information, but he
Yeah.
was on dating apps while she was under the
Had her
impression
ring
that
on her finger, which is wild. So, but not shocking at this point, everything that we've seen. She also said she's not sure he's engaged, so that he might have just said that on air. And now we're seeing in interviews he's saying girlfriend. So, how do you like what goes through your mind when you're like, I'm engaged, but I'm not? Like, you don't think
Well,
we're gonna
because
find that out?
I think Vanessa asked him, right? She was like, he was like, because the news he shared, he was like, "I found out I'm going to be a father this year," and she was like, "Oh, you're with someone new, like engaged," or and he was like, "Yeah, yeah, 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 we're engaged," So it's like kind of like Brittany said, something that she thinks he just splurted out.
He was
Um,
probably like in his head, like, "Fuck, I gotta get engaged now." Like, I
yeah.
said it, so now I gotta go and do it, which is crazy.
Right, just weird, like weird lies. And like again, like such a weird lie. Like he's lying in interviews about his timelines. He's telling he told 3 different publications, 3 different timelines,
Yeah.
which is wild. You would think if you're gonna lie, like just keep it consistent, you know?
Yeah, mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So
she's not shocked now about all of this coming out, but she did say something interesting because we thought she had said so many times now in interviews that she didn't know he hadn't dated a woman of color before, and that she found that out when we found that out. And now she's saying in this interview, she asked him point blank, right to his face, and he was quiet, and then he finally said, "I've only dated white women," right?
no, she said he didn't answer. That's what she
No, but
said.
then there was another part right after where she said,
She said it told me that he mostly dates whites, but it was okay because that's the whole point of the show, not to date because of color or size. And that when
mhm,
she heard it in his confessionals for the first time when she was watching with Jess and Emma, that she was shocked. So like not saying no is
yeah.
like a huge indicator. So I don't know. To me, that's like, why would it be that shocking if you kind of had an idea,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, so it sounds like he just didn't answer, so she didn't I guess she didn't technically know, but she said it told her basically that he only dates white women, so
Yeah.
she kind of had a heads up. I was sort of thinking, like, that just never came up and they never talked
Yeah.
about it. She didn't
Yeah.
even like we had said in our recap, she didn't even think to ask it because he is a black man, so she was like, "Why would I ask him that? That's so silly." So
It's a very silly question to ask a black man, you would assume.
yeah. Yeah, and so
Yeah.
we never questioned why she didn't question him. She thought he was a normal person. And so
Yeah, like, I
I
would never ask a black man if he's ever dated a black woman, like,
yeah.
I wonder I would've asked, n but Nick don't know because
Yeah.
he don't know,
No.
but I would've asked her because she said I asked him off camera, "Has he ever dated a woman of color?" I would've
Yeah.
said, "What prompted you to ask him that? Like,
Yeah.
why, as a person of color, do you feel it necessary to ask another person of color if they've ever dated?" You just assume that they have. Like, I don't think I have ever asked a single man that I ask them, "Have you ever dated a white girl?" Like, "Have you ever dated a white girl?"
Yeah.
I've never asked them, "Have you ever dated a black girl before?" Like,
Yeah.
you know?
Or or at least you need, like, something to prompt that, like you said.
Yeah,
If you see like, if she had only seen him with white girlfriends or something. So maybe that was where it came from, like exes. They have to ask about exes, but still, yeah, I would say, like, where did that question come from? Because it sort of
yeah,
feels like she must have had an inkling
an
then, right?
inkling.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he definitely gives that, but she said that she said, "It's okay for us all to have a preference." What happened?
I just liked when you said inkling, but I won't go off on one of my silly laughs again. You're gonna keep
Um,
it together today.
she said it's okay that we all have a preference, but she said it felt like he was purposely like, "Yeah, no, the color of your skin isn't right, so I'm not gonna get to know you." Like, which
Yeah.
is basically what he told Taylor, which is fucking gross. Like, it's literally
Mhm.
gross. Amber then chimes in. Amber for the win,
Love her.
says, "You should have told him I've never dated someone so unattractive before." And then she goes,
So
"I'm sorry,
good.
I hate that man." Like, so I just Amber's iconic. Like,
She
she's just
is.
iconic. And then they asked about the whole Devo of it all, like him calling himself Devo and like not calling himself Devonte. Obviously, Devonte is a very ethnic name. You can't hide what you are with a name like Devonte. She says he never pushed the Devo. They asked, "Do you feel like that's like an alter
A
ego?" And she
persona,
was like,
yeah.
"Yeah." Yeah, and then she, took a little dig and said, "Yeah, I think he has, like, basically a couple of
Yeah,
alter
a
egos."
few. Mhm,
And then we get into the whole work trip of it all.
mhm. So,
So,
she did say what we had kind of wondered is, did Devonte go to sort of try to hook up with Ashley? And that's what her theory is. Now, we didn't realize that Ashley was his like, one of his top picks in the pods. They had a connection, which adds such a crazy element to this now, right? Because it was like, oh, just Bree and Devonte are just friends. It's whatever, it's platonic, but it's like when that's your other pod connection, there's something there between you, and it's not just simply going to crash at an Airbnb anymore, right?
yeah, and it's like, come on, you don't wanna just see this concert this bad. There's a motive for why you're going with a bunch
Mhm.
of girls, like, that was his motive, and we had said, we think that that might be the thing. So,
Do you think him and Ashley hooked up?
no, I don't.
No.
I don't. I mean, I would love to get more tea on that or see if there's any tea there. But she
Mhm.
said she made sure to reiterate that her and Ashley are good. They're friends. Ashley's the only one that basically got on the phone with her after she already found out, but got on the phone
Yeah.
with her and explained it all and told her how it was weird and told her how he showed up. And she said something like he was with them and then just disappeared. Like, he was with them and then, like, left. It's almost like he was with them, once he
Well
realized he's not gonna hook up, then he left, you know?
well, yeah, well, remember, I think we said yesterday where I was like, he probably had some girl in Austin. It wasn't even about these 3 girls. He just used that as an excuse to or he was trying to hook up with Ashley and then he moved on to someone else. He was probably on Hinge in Austin. So if you were on Hinge in Austin April 26th, let us know if you saw him on there because
Oh my
I
god,
think
this
he
guy's
definitely was doing something.
yeah, the thing is that this, It's just this whole thing is, like, so weird. It
Uh-huh.
is so weird, and it's, like, the way that Brittany explains it, like, I understand that this man was manipulating you, and I understand being manipulated by a man, and I
Uh-huh.
understand him not being forthcoming, but there are just some things that she's saying that I'm like, "Girl, like, come on,
Yeah.
like, you have to take some accountability." She said they were still together 3 weeks after filming, something felt off. Basically, he finished filming and dipped out, hadn't talked to him for 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
She retold everything she told on the reunion, and, of course, he called and didn't text. Amber pointed that out. "Oh, he called you and told you, 'No, I
Mhm.
do still wanna be together,' so that you don't have anything documented in text," but then she said, he said that he had a breaking point and didn't talk to her for 5 days,
Yeah.
and then went on this trip, and then came back, and then broke up with her. Broke up with her indirectly because he said, "I can't show up for myself, let alone us." And then she said she texted him again
Yeah.
after 3 days and said, "Just to clarify, that was you ending our relationship, right? That was you ending our engagement,
Oh,
right?
no. Mhm.
Come on.
I
Come
know.
on."
She was really asking for our grace and, like, that you don't know how you'll act in that situation, but it is hard, you know? It's so easy as an outsider to be like, "That's crazy." Like, it was so
I
clearly
guess.
over, but
Yeah, I
also
guess. But
yeah,
also, like,
I
you
feel for
just
her.
said he broke up with you indirectly. She said because he was saying, "I don't know what the future holds," like, because he was saying words like, "I'm not disappearing," that it
Mhm.
was a breakup. She was like, "It was a breakup, but he wasn't gonna say the words," and I'm like, "No, he's literally saying the words." Like, if you tell somebody, "I can't show up for myself, let alone us,"
Mhm.
uh, you're saying the words,
Yeah.
and there is no clarification
Yeah.
needed. So for him to say that and then you not hear from him for 3 days,
That's the
I don't think
clarification,
that's
right?
the clarification. Like, come on. Like, I know,
Yeah.
like, we hand these men their asses. All
Yeah.
we have no problem doing it. And
Yeah.
so when necessary, we've gotta hold the women accountable too, because that's just crazy.
But he
You couldn't have
seems
waterboarded that information out of me. Like, I would have kept that to myself that I then text him again to clarify. Just to make
yeah,
sure
that he
you so
dumped
you
me.
just to make sure you dump me, right? What if he would have said no? Like, what would have happened from that point? Like, what if he would have been like, "No, actually, no, I still wanna be engaged, like, see you in a
Yeah.
month." Like,
And she did explain the whole wedding dress of it all. She said she's 5 feet tall and curvy, and so she needed like a not a special dress, but, you know, like, it had to be her style, her fit, and so that's why she brought the dress. It wasn't like, "I got the dress, now I'll marry anybody." So that's what she said, and she's still gonna use that as her wedding dress one day, and
mhm,
she said they had a talk, what was it, a week or 3 days before the wedding, and that's when they decided to break it off, like,
yeah,
that they weren't gonna go through to the wedding if they weren't gonna say yes, and so that on
yeah.
camera was just for, like, the cameras.
Yeah, and Devonte had said that in his, like, Entertainment Weekly
Yeah,
article that they had the conversation,
yeah,
knew it was a no, and they kinda just, like, redid it for the sake of Netflix, so I don't know. She said finding out he had a child was shocking, but she's still skeptical on the engagement. They did bring up the Chris of it all. They asked them both, like, what do
mhm.
you think of Chris? They said, Amber said she feels like his apologies bullshit and that he's a snake. Love her. Um, and
He's
Brittany
so good.
basically, they both basically said that he wouldn't have apologized if it wasn't on TV because if he
Mhm,
really was sorry, like he would have apologized to them separately. Um, and that one thing that Amber said that was interesting is that Chris is trying to blame the edit, and she was like, "He can't really blame the edit," but that her and Jordan's fight scene was heavily edited, which I think me and you said that. We said
mhm.
that. We're like, "That mixer scene seemed very off. That's not what they were fighting about." And she said
Yeah,
that. Like, she was like, "I wasn't." She said that she overheard Jordan say, "I don't think that they're gonna make us go through with this because she has a kid." And she said that was the first time she felt the vibe that he actually didn't want to do it.
yeah. Yeah, it's funny that we thought that that scene was edited, and then she said he was talking to Vic or something, right?
Yeah, but he said that he was talking to Vic,
Yeah.
but it was
Yeah, he did.
almost like he was, like, voicing his concerns about meeting Emma
Yeah,
versus, like, you're
he downplayed it.
saying, "Yeah, I don't think that they're gonna make us go through with it." That's a very different conversation. What do you mean
Yeah.
make us go through with it? Is this
Yeah.
some like, are you acting? Are you pretending? Do you
But
want to do this? Like
I do think that's what happened, though. Like, we've heard before that happened to Milton, like, he was financially convinced to go through with the wedding, and I think
oh,
that's what happened with Jordan. I don't know if he
okay.
was financially convinced, but definitely convinced, and that's not to say, like, it's not his fault too. You're obviously a grown man, you could say no, and other people do it, but I do think he's like she said, he's insecure about how he's gonna look, and he would be easily persuaded of, like, "But if you get married, you're gonna be way more of a star." He has been posting, like, a lot of brand type stuff, like, he's definitely in it
She
for
said
that.
he got, like, a brand deal with, like, a beer company or
Yeah.
something. Amber said that in this interview.
Yeah, like, he's definitely in it for that. He's not it's not like he has this career he loves like Amber or some of the women, right? And so
Yeah.
that's what he's there for. So he is very concerned about how he looks.
Yeah, and
And
she
so I
did
think he would be
say
persuaded.
same, I agree. And she did say that she totally expected him to say no, but she thought that he had a come to Jesus moment where she just felt like he loved her so much that he was gonna say no, but in hindsight, she thinks that,
Yeah.
it really was more so about looking bad. So we told you guys about the Alyssa of it all. Oh! She said that Jordan was liking bikini pics of
Oh,
girls on Instagram right after he ended things with her, and that was really hurtful.
yes, that's
Yeah.
crazy. We gotta go back
Yeah.
and talk to Alyssa. I don't know if you guys remember that we told you we got yelled at before the season started. That was from Alyssa. So
Yeah,
she said, like,
yeah,
good
yeah.
luck with our podcast or something. So
Good
she was
luck with
upset.
yeah, she was y'all, she was upset we said the truth and and we didn't even mention her name and we weren't feeding into the narrative that she was trying to push that she knew Miguel's ex-fiance but didn't know him.
Yeah.
But one interesting question that Nick and Natalie asked Amber was they asked her if she feels like Jordan said I do to control his edit and his narrative. And she said, yes. And she says she
Yeah.
doesn't believe that Jordan loved her because when you love somebody, you try.
Yeah.
And when you love somebody, you need time to heal. And like he didn't really take any time to heal. They did ask Brittany about Alex shooting his shot. She said that he never shot a shot, and that their date on day 1 in the pods, they never even used the full 10 minutes. So clearly
Yeah.
they had no connection clearly, but,
Yeah.
um, yeah, so that was it, and then, obviously towards the end, Amber was just shooting shots at fucking
Yeah.
Chris. Like, she was like, "How many ballerinas do you date?" And they did ask Brittany, "Do you think he's like" because Amber has said that she doesn't think that Jordan's a bad guy, and she asked, "Do you think that Devonte is a bad guy?" She said he could be a good guy, he just has a really long way to go, and I highly disagree with that. He is a
Yeah.
Chris. He is an
Yeah.
Alex,
He's the worst, I think, because I mean, Chris is horrible, and he told Jess that she doesn't go to Pilates, but it's like he's not having, I mean, as far as we know, he's not having all these multiple relationships at one time, and maybe he is, though. He probably is too. I think
I
they're
just don't
equal.
understand how no one has come forward about Alex. That's probably the most shocking thing.
Right?
Um, but as far as her age, you guys, Amber said she called us all dickheads, but
Yeah.
she did give an explanation. She said that her grandma had died and her uncle had died too.
Mhm.
And girl, she went motherfucking medical on all of us. She was like, first of all, bitch, you forget that I'm a nurse practitioner. She started throwing out all these terms about how her cortisone levels were raised and it was affecting her skin and it a condition in her jawline that did like make her look older. And then so she said no more reality shows for her, to give the women grace. She told us all to eat shit for talking about her age. And
Mhm.
then she said, no offense to Jordan, everybody's talking about how old I look, no one's talking about how Jordan looks, and he looks older than me, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah. It's true, right? They're like, "He's such a cute little teddy bear," but then the women's looks get absolutely picked apart right? And so it's not really
I
fair,
think
but
I think it was, like, her saying like, it was a dig, like, her being
yeah,
like,
yeah.
We're just gonna act like Jordan's just so fucking fine,"
Does
like, you know what I mean?
I don't know if he looks older than her though. Do you think that?
I don't think he looks older than her in the face. I think that was a
No.
dig at something else, like, because I think,
Yeah.
like, initially when she did see Jordan, I think at the reveal, she was, like, a little, like,
Yeah.
okay, kinda like Britney too with Devonte, it was like,
Yeah.
okay,
I can
not
work
what
with
I
this.
typically go for, but I could work with this, like, everyone kinda was like, okay, like, I could do it, but I think it
Yeah.
was just so funny that she said that, like, basically, like, come on now, y'all know
Yeah.
that Jordan is not giving he's not giving fucking Freddie,
Supermodel.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that she's just so funny, dude. Like
She
she's just
is.
so funny and witty. I would have liked to see again an interview with her by herself, or like
Yeah.
I think she should just sit in on all the girls'
Yeah, I was
interviews so
gonna
she could
say.
just jump in and give us the tea. Because they did bring up Taylor. They brought up
Yeah.
the ex-girlfriend, the Taylor of it all. She even brought up
Mhm.
the fact that she works at Applebee's. It's actually Chili's. But,
Mm.
I don't think that Taylor would have come up if Amber was not at that
Yeah.
in that, you know?
Amber knows all the tea. She's in the
Amber's
online gossip.
she's in the online gossip. She is in the loop.
Yeah. Well, we love Amber. Even if, maybe she's not the best partner. Like Jordan says, she has stuff to work on. She admits she has stuff to work on. I think they're both good people that just really were not right for each other. And he was definitely not ready for marriage. So, and maybe she's not either if these things Jordan's saying is true, but it's very much like a he said, she said.
Mhm.
And we just have to try to put these pieces together and see who we believe. And again, we've caught Jordan in 2 lies, so it's hard to trust fully his account of everything. So
Mhm.
I got bad
Mhm.
news for you.
What?
Another interview dropped. It's
Shut
just
up. Who?
Mike did an interview with Reality Alert. So now I've only seen 2 things that jumped out at me. Did we see Mike and Bree in the pods?
Mm, no. No, yeah.
I'm like,
Wait.
they're all the same to me now. Connor,
No, yeah,
Chris.
no, we saw Connor and Chris. We
Well, they
didn't
were
see Mike.
together till 2 days before the engagements in the pods, Mike and Bree.
Oh, interesting.
So that's new information. And then the other information, the only thing I really care about is like what happened with him and Emma after the altar, right? I'll just give you a tiny synopsis of this Mike and Emma one because I don't know that anyone is as interested in their interview just because they were pretty drama free at the reunion. But
Yeah.
they do have just this. I guess she apologized to his mom at the wedding and said, "Sorry, I blindsided Mike."
Mhm.
Which we already knew. She's already admitted about that. And then how long did you guys try to date for after the show stopped filming? The next day. This is the next night. Emma and I talked, and I told her, I want to talk to you tomorrow. You can't just leave that open. So I went to her place. We talked for 2 hours, back and forth. She said she was caught up in emotions. He was mad about her flipping the script and that it should have been 50-50. Fast forward, maybe like a week and a half, 2 weeks, she comes over to my place and we decided to end it on good terms with one another. We didn't see each other for those 2 weeks and there were minimal text messages back and forth. We're still on good terms. This just shows how fake some of these people are. It's like you're in love and you're going to get married, and the day those cameras drop, you're like, peace. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
crazy. And
and
that's why,
I think from day one we said that, right? Like Mike and Emma are just so fucking fake. They're there for
yeah.
the camera time. They're elongating their camera time. They really wasted our time. Like if you're
Hmm.
like we get it, people go on the show for airtime. They're
Yeah.
faking it, but like at least like do a better job at hiding the fact that you're disingenuine. I think that
Yeah.
Mike did a way better job at acting like he
Yeah.
was real. Emma was so horrible at it, like so horrible. Like she couldn't keep a straight face. She's constantly laughing, like and it just makes the audience just not like you. Yeah, the minute the cameras go down, you're not in love. You just said that you were going to have kids for this man, and now you guys aren't speaking on speaking terms. Like get out of here. You guys they were so fake, and I think we said that from jump. Like they're so fake. You knew in the pods you guys had a reason to say no at that altar, and that's what you guys did.
Hmm. They asked him if he would do the traders. Don't hold.
Wishful fucking thinking to think that you would even get invited on the Traitors.
Yeah, I mean, he was fine, and, like, of all these horrible men, he was a good guy enough, I guess. It's just like, yeah, it's so hard to be, like, one day at the altar saying you love someone and then just breaking up. They gotta fake it for a few months and wait for an out, which is what Jordan did, right? You gotta pretend so that we buy it, and that's where I have a hard time being against Amber or coming for her because I really don't think she was, like, faking it the way a lot of these people were.
100% she was not. She like like let's just keep it a stack. Like you know that opportunities can come from this. You know that
Yeah,
brand deals can come from this. So sure, that's part of it. This could happen, but I think that she really did like let her guard down and like love Jordan and like he
yeah,
was probably opposite of everything she's ever dated before and she thought that this was a real marriage and to Jordan I think it wasn't. It's kind of crazy to me that even like, I wonder if there's something like if you go to the altar and you say yes, like you have to file that wedding certificate because I don't why after the wedding like I don't know I just got caught up in the emotions of it all and I said yes but I don't want to file it like I don't want to make it official because I don't think we're ready for that like why not
yeah,
that
yeah, I know, I don't know, I would love
like
to know,
why
like.
actually file it
Yeah,
like
then I guess the whole show, like, loses legitimacy though, right? The whole point is when we see
sure
them say "I do," it's a real marriage, and if it started being like, they said "I do," but it never went through, they're probably not allowed to do that. But again, like,
yeah
allowed, I don't know how much the show can, like, force
yeah
you to do things, but
I mean, they can if it's in your contract. Like, if you say yes, then we're filing that wedding certificate because they did say that they're paying for the divorce. So,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm sure that was at top of mind for Jordan when he said yes. It's like, "The divorce is free, what do I got to lose," right?
What do I
Who
have to
cares?
lose? Who
Yeah,
cares? This wasn't real.
mhm.
Oh,
Yeah, it sounds
I
like
don't know. Are
you.
you Team Amber or Team Jordan? Because the internet's divided.
Yeah, it's a hard one. I think we went over all the reasons why, but so that's it for the interviews for today. I'm sure there will be more coming, but
Who
any other.
else is there really to hear from, you think? I think we've heard from all the big ones.
Emma,
The only one
probably.
fuck off. I'm not
Con.
watching it. I'm not watching Emma go up there and bullshit us about how she loved Mike and wanted to have babies. Like, I would listen. The only interview that I would listen to, I mean, I would listen to all of them because I have to, but the only
Yeah.
one that I care about at this point is a sit down with Devonte
Yeah.
somebody who's gonna ask him some real fucking questions. That's the only one I think is left. Like, what, you wanna hear from fucking Ashley?
No, but I'm sure it's
No.
coming. I
Goddamn. We're 20
definitely.
what do you think where do you think she's going? Off the vine?
Yeah. They
Probably.
only get to do like a couple of them, so because they want to be able to control the narrative, you know? So I just, yeah, would like some truth from some people. Although I did feel like this interview with Brittany and Amber, I think was good. Like, they
Amber
let
was
her.
honest. Amber's
Yeah, they
honest.
let her
She's not
mention.
lying. She's not lying.
Well, any other thoughts before we go? Well, thanks for listening, guys. Make sure you subscribe because we pop up every other day. You never know when we're coming. We like to surprise you guys. So we'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.